Hello you guys, and welcome back to my channel. Now my name is Can I Be Your Best Friend? And I want to say thank you guys for all the love and support that you guys have given me, and keep on sharing, liking, and telling your friends to subscribe to my videos, because guess what, we're on our way to the top, baby. Now you heard it first. Now this video is all about mending friendships. Yep. Mending friendships. What happens when you are friends with someone and then the friendship comes to an end? It could be your fault, it could be their fault, it could be both of y'all faults, right? It could be a big misunderstanding. But what do you do? Especially when the friendship actually meant something to you, right? Do you guys say screw the relationship? Do you guys say it's not worth it, I just don't want to talk about it? Well, let's go ahead and talk about it today. Now let's talk about what a friendship is. Now a friendship is a person that you allow inside of your bubble, and you guys venture on to being friends forever. Okay, I wish it was that simple, but that's not how it is. Now, if y'all know me, y'all know I like to get you guys to really think about things and topics when I put them in place. So imagine your space being like your ship, right? Like your ship. And the good thing about your ship is you can put whoever you want in your ship, right? Whether it's a relationship with your family, your friends, your coworker, your kids, even your lover, right? Those are different type of relationships. And the relationships that you have with most people will not be the same as you have with others, right? So that's another thing to remember. The way you treat maybe your family is not the way you may treat your friendships, and maybe not the way you have your relationship with your children. But one thing that will always remain the same will be your boundaries. And we're going to talk about boundaries in a little bit. Now, once again, your bubble is your ship, right? This is your ship. And you have the right to bring anybody into your ship or bring anybody into your life as you choose, right? Just like they do, right? And sometimes people being brought in your life is going to fit, and sometimes they're not, right? And sometimes it's not really what you did wrong or what they did wrong. Sometimes it's really just bad timing. Now, once again, your bubble is your ship. So once again, like I said before, you can put anybody that you want into this ship, right? Like, you do not have to put up with anybody if you do not want to. But if they're worth it, don't be so quick to just kick people off your ship because of a misunderstanding, a disagreement, an argument. Because I'm going to be honest with you, some relationships do not need to come to an end. Some relationships, honestly, needs to be worked through, talked about, and hashed out. And sometimes you got to give somebody some space, baby. Sometimes space is needed. I know that oh so well. But sometimes relationships do need to come to an end because they're more toxic than you think they are. And the crazy part about those type of relationship is you don't realize how toxic that relationship is until it's already toxic, right? The ship done, boom, crash, right? The ship have crashed into the nearest rock, right? And some of y'all ships have crashed into rocks, and y'all have seen the rock coming. Y'all have seen maybe the cheating or the lying or the disloyal or the person just can't be trusted. Y'all seen all the warning signs, right? And a lot of you guys have knocked straight into these rocks, and a lot of times you guys try to cry, why me? That relationship went south because of you. You seen the warning signs and you could have left, but you didn't. And I'm gonna tell you why a lot of time you don't leave. You don't want to start over. And sometimes you just truly love them. Now, I'm not the one to judge anybody, because I've definitely had my share of great relationships that yes, best friend is saying I have self-sabotage. Sometimes when you are in a friendship with someone, you're in this ship with someone and they're too good to be true, sometimes you can self-sabotage it because you're thinking to yourself, hey, there's no way that this person was sent in my life to be a greater good. So let me just self-sabotage it. Let me go ahead and destruct the ship before we even make it to the other side of the rainbows. Hello? And I've definitely done this, and where I would make excuses for why it didn't work out because I didn't want to be the one to taint them or maybe to alter what they had going on. And I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have done it. Now, baby, I am human, so don't judge me. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. And once again, I was in my younger days. Hello? Now, how do you know when you should mend a relationship? Now, this is why we're here. 1, you find yourself thinking about the person, reminiscing, right? And when you reminisce about the things that you guys did, you reminisce more about the good than the bad. And more than anything, you have to remember the why. Now, the reason why you guys fell out or you guys didn't work out or why the friendship ended or relationship ended, you got to figure out why it didn't end. Because what I don't want you to do is to overlook what made you guys end in the first place. Because sometimes things can repeat itself and that can be the main reason why you guys fall out again. And we don't want, like I said, we don't want that to happen. So you got to definitely make sure you dissect the why. Why did we fall out? And then you got to ask yourself, was it worth it? Yes. Was it worth it? Because sometimes we fall out, we have a disagreement with somebody, and the fight is not worth it, baby. And sometimes the fight was worth it when it happened, right? It's just like if I fell out with somebody when I was 18, but now I am 30 years old, right? And the thing that bothered me at 18 doesn't bother me at 30 because maybe now I've grown. I have, and I tell people all the time will actually heal things. A lot of times you can sit down with somebody and realize the things that y'all fell out for. Sometimes y'all don't even remember what y'all fell out about. And sometimes you'll realize today that it was not worth it than as you thought it was. Like I said, the next thing is you got to figure out, is this worth it? Is it worth pulling a Band-Aid and open up wounds and hashing out the what ifs, the what happened, or could you just honestly just forget about what happened and really just move on? And I know some of you guys may say, well, best friend, what would you do? Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all what I do. It all depends. If what they did really hurt me, like truly hurt me, there's no way I can sit down with a person and act like like we all good, knowing that we're not all good, that I'm honestly bothered by something that you did. So, baby, yes, we got to sit down over dinner, some Netflix and chill without the really talking, Netflix and hello. And we got to talk about this because the way I am set up, if I don't talk about something, it's going to bother me. Sorry, y'all. That is the Aquarius in me. And if you're an Aquarius, hello, then you know. But sometimes, I ain't gonna lie, I don't want to rehash, redig, rethink about anything that you think that I did, that I think that you did. Because at this point, God has forgave me for that. Hopefully you forgave me for that, and I want to move on. And honestly, like I said, if it's worth it, I don't want to rehash the things that is going to make me sad all over again. But like I said, that's only on some rare occasions, because some people do owe you an explanation, and some people do owe you a sorry, and some of y'all owe some people some sorries and an explanation yourself. As you get older, like, somebody has to be the bigger person, right? Now, mending relationships or mending friendships is hard because someone is going to want to play like the blame game, like, point fingers. But if you truly care about the person, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'd be too excited to honestly really just have my friend back. But also, too, you don't want to be so quick to just think that things are going to go back to the way it used to be or back to normal. You really just kind of got to find yourself inching back into that, especially if y'all both say, let's start over. Starting over meaning starting over from today, not from where you guys were. And remember that. You got to start back from where today, because time have passed and both of you guys have grown to be different people. So remember. So, quick story time. So I had a good friend of mine, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I honestly adored her. I thought every time I seen her, I would get super happy to see her because she was super positive. And I ain't gonna lie to you, living in a world where a lot of people are negative, like, I appreciate a positive person around me. So when I would see her, I would get super happy, and our friendship grew, and it grew, and it grew, and it grew, to the point I did anything and everything just to make her happy, and to anything she wanted to achieve, I try to help her achieve it. I find myself being like that mother hen. I don't know if anybody can relate to me, or I find myself just being that motherly or sisterly type of person, because if I'm winning, I want you to win. If you need something, I want to be able to help you if I can. So because I had the means to help this person, I tried my best to be what I thought that she needed, to be there for her in a capacity. And I will always ask her, like, how do you need me? What do you need from me? And she would tell me what she needed from me, and I would try my best to fulfill them. And she was there for me as I was there for her. And I noticed that over time, people started to get in her ear, telling her the problems that they had. And I know that she was going through like a rough patch in her personal life that also probably could have took a toll of how she was feeling. And I noticed that over time, she started to like distance herself from me. And it hurted my feelings to the point that I started to distance myself from her, because I was hurt. This person was my safe space, and now my safe space is turning their back on me. And and honestly, it did hurt my feelings. Yes, best friend got feelings. It hurt my feelings because, like I said, I'm truly a person that could try to go above and beyond. And I'm not perfect. I am not a perfect friend, but I am a friend that will honestly be there for you as much as I can. And anyways, I noticed the person was being distant. I reached out to them and I was like, hey, are you good? They always let me know they were good, but I knew they weren't good because I knew them for some time now. Then before you knew it, they sent me a long paragraph of how unhappy they were and how they wanted to kind of remove their self from my space. And it was, I'm gonna be honest with you, I was sad. I was sad because this was my person. Like, what are you doing? No, let's talk about this. Don't leave. In my head every day, I was like, don't leave me, girl. Please stay right here tonight. Because good people is hard to come across. And I'm going to be honest with you. Yes, what she did was irritating. It hurt my feelings and it made me feel like, but I wish that she would have picked up the phone and called me. I wish she would have just dialed my number and just reached out to me and was like, told me how she feel. And so I can listen to her and we can see how we can fix this, right? Because I didn't think our relationship was worth losing, but she did. And a piece of me had to respect that. No, all of me had to respect that. And so I did just that. I gave her her space and it hurted. No, it hurted like hell. I ain't gonna lie to you. And when we separated or whatever, she started doing some great things in her life, and I was super upset in the inside because I was not a part of her success. And so that did hurt. And just recently she actually reached out to me wanting to mend our friendship and apologize and all that stuff. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it made me feel good just to know that, because in my mind I was thinking to myself, I was such a bad friend. Like, maybe I was a bad friend. Maybe I didn't do something correctly. Maybe I pushed her away. Maybe I was terrible or horrible. And I know a lot of you guys think that way. But a lot of time, it is your fault, but sometimes it ain't your fault. But sometimes it's 50% your fault. Sometimes it's only 20% your fault. But whatever it was, I just didn't want to lose my friend. But I was so happy. She actually reached out to me. And I ain't gonna lie to you, when I first got the message, I smiled just seeing the person's name. That's another reason why how you know you want to be in the relationship. When you see the person's name or whatever, like, you smile, right? Like, they still kind of have that over you. And it felt good. It felt good because some friendships are meant to be rehashed, right? And I'm not saying, once again, for me and this person to go back and being besties like we were and do all the things that we did, right? Even though in a perfect world I wish, but I know that it can't be like that anymore. And because it's to the point where we're both going to be honestly walking on eggshells to make sure that we make the other person happy. And honestly, my goal is just to make sure she's happy. Now, one thing about friendships, I'm going to let you know this. Friends make mistakes. Say it with me. Friends makes mistake. If you're looking for a friend that is going to be perfect, is going to kiss your butt and always agree with you, and I'm sorry, sound like you're looking for a yes man. We don't do yes man relationships around here. Like, friendships are going to mess up. They're going to get on your nerves. They're going to mess up. They're going to get on your nerves. They're going to mess up and get on your nerves all over again. They are not going to be perfect. They're going to maybe be a little disloyal sometimes. And you got to figure out to yourself, is it worth it to try to talk about it? Or is it worth it to leave it alone? And just like anything in our life, if we feel like the person is worth it, then try to put in the work to try to solve how did we get where we're at. That's more than anything. The conversation must be had. How did we get where we are at today? And can it be fixed? Can we be fixed? Now, some of y'all need to stop being Bob the Builder in y'all relationships. Yep, y'all in y'all friendships, a lot of y'all be Bob the Builders, and some of y'all cannot fix it. You know what I'm saying? Bob the Builder, can we fix it? Some of y'all, no, y'all can't. Some relationships don't need to be fixed. I ain't gonna lie to you. Some relationships don't be fixed. Some relationships need to be left where they are at, and some relationships are meant to leave alone, and that's God telling you to run away, because if you would have stayed in a relationship a little bit longer, legit, you would have regretted it. So leave that relationship alone. Let that person do them and be toxic in their own little world. Let that person hate from a distance. Let that person, you know what I'm saying, be bitter in a distance, right? And sometimes disconnecting from somebody is good, right? Some relationships don't need to be mended. Hello? Some relationships need to be left in the dirt, baby. I had a good friend of mine who, when I tell you, I loved everything about this girl. Like, when I tell you, she taught me so much about myself. She honestly made me want to be a good person, like a better person. One thing she taught me was to always be who I am and never be afraid of it. So I'm thinking that this was going to be my ride or die. You know what I'm saying? Ride or die. And my ride or die legit decided to get engaged to my ex that we weren't like completely done with. And that hurt it. That hurt it. Just thinking about it, that hurted me so bad. Oh my God. And it hurted so much because when I tell you, we did everything together. Like, we did everything together. Like, she was like my soul sister. She was like my rock steady. Like, that was what she was. So when she did that, I was like, Then she had the nerves to say this to me. She called me and said, I'm going to tell you something and don't make me choose. And I was like, girl, choose what? She was like, me and boop, boop, bop, 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 bop. We start talking and this and one thing led to another. He proposed and I'm going to say yes. And I'm thinking, yes, wait, what? And when I tell you, it broke my little heart. Like, how dare you pick somebody over me? And then I felt even more betrayed because I remember me telling her all the things me and him used to do. Not all the things, I didn't spill all the tea. But you know how happy he made me feel and how just all the things I wanted to do with him and da-da-da. Like I really thought I was venting to my friend. I didn't know I was venting for her to one day remove him out of my life. And I just... Anyway, some of y'all are going to be like, best friend, tell me you did not mend that relationship. Okay, what happened was I got pregnant. She reached out to me and said, hey, I want to fix it. He's a dirty dog. And I'm thinking, so he a dirty dog. I'm assuming it didn't work, huh? So she like, yeah, he a dirty dog. He did this, that, this, girl. Oh my God, girl. And I'm sitting there thinking like, really? And I'm like, so it took for y'all to break up for you to want to reach out to me. But then, like I said, I start remembering all the good things we did. And I'm thinking to myself, she did what she did, but I ain't gonna let no man, you know what I'm saying, separate our love and whatever. It's been a year, whatever, and whatever. So we become friends again. I go out to Vegas to go see her. And everything is great. Like, hoorah, hoorah, boop, bop, boop, bop, boop, bop, beep, ding, ding. And then I just noticed she was just giving me shady vibes. Like, now this has been, once again, my ace boon coon for like 6, 7, 8 years. So when I start getting shady vibes, I'm like, something's wrong. Because she's normally not like. So in my mind, I'm thinking something is wrong. Something is terribly wrong. And then she started, you know what I'm saying? She was just always that person. Maybe I just never seen it. She always that person, that type of female that always would put a man before her friendships. And I never really seen it before. Maybe because I was in a place in my life where I just needed what she was willing to offer me. And that was the love and the family and the commitment, all that. But when my eyes start opening up, I realized that I was always going to take a back seat from any relationship she was in. And at this point, I can't even trust you around my man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't even have you at my wedding because you may be eyeballing my man. So I really legit couldn't trust her. You know what I'm saying? And so when I decided to cut the relationship short and I hit her up and I was like, you know what, baby? I noticed that I'm there for you, but you're never there for me. I'm noticing I'm calling you, but you're not calling me. I'm noticing that you are allowing your baby daddy to say shady stuff to me about the relationship. Because apparently she told her baby daddy the new baby daddy about what happened with my ex and her. And so he looking at me sideways and stuff. So I had to put him in check. Like, boo-boo, you ain't gonna check nothing over here. And it's whatever she told you is not what it was. Right? So I had to tell my side of the story, because at this time, legit, if you want to, you know what I'm saying, pull back some Band-Aids, let's pull back some Band-Aids. So anyways, she just had excuses on top of excuses. And I thought to myself, I am not that 22-year-old girl anymore. Legit, like, I can't do that with this. And I had two options. I could either, one, forgive her again. Or I could honestly just move on. And when I tell you it was hard to move on from this relationship, because I was invested. Like, I was invested in her family. I was invested in, like, when she lost her people, like, I felt like I lost my people. Like, they took me in when I was homeless. Like, she just knew me. She got me. Like, when I'm telling you, when I feel like this girl was like my soul sister, I feel like this girl was my soul sister. So when she did this, it was like, and I was the godmother to her child. Our kids was around the same age, but baby, everything in my spirit was telling me that if I forgave her again, this was not going to get better. And that some things you just outgrow. And that friendship, something I outgrew. Now, I gave you two stories, right? One relationship with mine, once again, a person I adored, and the relationship was fixable, right? It may not go back the way it was, but it's fixable, because it was probably a lot of misunderstanding, a lot of he say, she say, a lot of people in the ear, and I get it. I'm older, I get it. And then I gave you another scenario where honestly I forgave and then just got bamboozled again, and then was like, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't even worth to forgive, but I feel like I had to forgive in order to go through the of like, nah, this can't happen again. And sometimes you don't have to kind of relive it or rehash it. Sometimes the first time is enough to walk away and say, you know what, I deserve more, and I want more, and I will not be treated like this. Because come on, some of you guys do not deserve some people that are into your life. Now think about it. One thing about friendships is you have the ability to pick your friends. Like we can't pick family. They dysfunctional. We stuck with the dysfunctional mama, brother, cousin, sister, brother. You know what I'm saying? We stuck. You know, some of us not stuck. Some of y'all just still run away. But when it come to friends, like, you're not stuck in that situation. So like, you can leave. Like, you don't have to be there. Like, but if they're worth it, and if you feel like it's worth kind of like mending it, then mend it. But if you feel like this relationship is causing more harm than good, and it is messing up my peace, my mental health, if it's messing with your mental health, sometimes it means not to walk away. Sometimes it means you need to step back. So let's talk about that one really quick. Sometimes you got to step back from the situation in order to analyze, how does the relationship serve purpose in your life? How do you benefit from it? And how would they benefit from you? And does this person bring more good in your life than bad? Right? And as long as the person's not physically harming you or making you feel bad or disrupting your peace, then maybe you can always revisit that relationship. Because sometimes relationships are seasonal, where you got to walk away from them, but it's not meant for you to walk away from them for a very long time. Sometimes it's meant for you to revisit it when your mental and your mindset is better, or maybe their mindsets are better. And these relationships are worth it. Now, when I think of friendships, I think of someone that you can be honest with, that you are loyal to, they're loyal to you, and more than anything, when y'all together, y'all are having fun. You guys are having a ball. Now, like, friendships are just like relationships. Y'all gonna argue, bicker, fight. Some of your friends are like yin and yang. Y'all are different, but y'all work, right? And it's okay. It's not the fact that y'all fight. It's how you fight, and is when you guys fight or bicker or whatever, is it worth it, right? Because we're not perfect, and relationships are not perfect, and friendships are not perfect. Like, it happens. But if every time you guys have an argument, if you're willing to run away, maybe you need to think to yourself, am I even ready to even be a friend? Because friendships are not perfect. And running away from them every time you guys have a disagreement or argument or whatever case is. When I say argument, I don't mean like a bad argument. I mean like argument because maybe she didn't bring back your shoes, or maybe he didn't, put gas in your car. You feel me? Like, those arguments are not worth it. You feel me? They're not worth to end a relationship, like a friendship, just because of something like little. And it may not be little to you at the time, but I guarantee you when you look back at it, you're like, man, we just fell out because she filled the car up, but she didn't put the car exactly on full, right? And then you be thinking to yourself, man, I just lost a really good friend over something really, really stupid and really, really petty, right? Now, like I said, friendships should be fun. It should be a person that honestly makes you happy and make you smile and all these things above. And mending friendships are worth it, but some friendships are not. So you got to ask yourself, is it worth it? Is the friendship worth it? And if it is worth it, and maybe you just need the space, be clear with that. Be clear by saying, I love you, I appreciate you. However, things between us right now are not good. Let's have some space for me to figure some things out, or for you to figure some things out, and let's get back together and let's talk about it when we do, right? Because once again, space is needed. And sometimes the relationship just needs to be cut off. And sometimes you can tell them that they're being cut off, and sometimes you ain't got to. All depends on what it is. But one thing about your ship is you have the power to put whoever you want in your ship. So if a person is not serving purpose on your ship, kick them off. Hello? Like I said, don't let nobody come into your ship and disrupt your peace. Your peace is important. Your vibes are important. Your energy is important. And there's so many dope people in the world that I'm pretty sure that will be knocking down your door to be your friend. And some of us, if you're like me, I love being in a crowd of a small friendship circle. I don't like big friendship circles because they get a little messy, and I don't do the mess. Hello? Now, I am your best friend. So one thing that your best friend is going to tell you today is always trust your guts. Trust your gut. Trust that little thing in the pit of your stomach that says, I need to walk away. This is no longer healthy for me. This is no longer serving me purpose. And guess what? I no longer need this type of energy or vibes in my life. And unfortunately, as much as I love this person, I gotta walk away because I love myself more. So on that note, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for having my back. Thank y'all for subscribing. Thank you guys for liking. And make sure y'all follow me on my Instagram page called Bestie Vibe Me. Bestie Vibe Me is my Instagram channel. Go ahead, slide in there and go ahead and request my page. And once again, like I said, I'm your best friend. I'm going to always be real with you. I'm always going to be authentic with you. And like I said, take the parts of my channel, like take the parts of the stuff that applies to you and put the other stuff in your pocket, because baby, you may need it later on in life. But make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that your best friend said. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all, and I will see y'all on a later date, because guess what? We besties. We locked in, baby.